An epic tale of monarch and mercenaries, struggle and perseverance is set to begin. We got our best reveal of Crimson Desert over at Gamescom, and I just had to talk about this game. I've been following it for quite some time, but boy did this look so good, I couldn't hold off making another video any longer. A new open world MMO rivaling the likes of, I guess, New World at this point. We are in such need of a good MMO, and Crimson Desert is building itself up to be that. With breathtaking landscapes, incredible terrain, a living and breathing bustling city, collecting quests and carrying sheep, what more could you want? Okay, I'm gonna stop gushing and let's actually dive straight into this. Oh, but speaking of MMOs, get your things, we're heading out. World of Warships is back. Thank you so much to World of Warships for sponsoring this video. But this is one of my favourite free-to-play PC games that I've been playing for years now. With intense action-filled battle scenes, over 600 intricately designed real-life ships, including destroyers, cruisers, battleships, submarines, and so much more. You can play online with friends, join a clan with over 30 million players, or battle alone. And of course, it is completely free. I'm sure so many of you have heard of World of Warships for now. But jumping in, you can shoot enemies from afar, get up close or send torpedoes and stealth missions as a beautiful submarine crew. But right now, new players are getting a head start. You can download on PC and use the code VICTORY23 to get 7 days of premium, 2 million free credits to improve your ships, 200 doubloons to customize them, and a tier 3 ship of your choice. So click the link in the description, use that code, and join me on the battlefield in World of Warships. Once again, thank you so much to them for sponsoring today's video. It was a cold, dark evening on the 7th of November 2019 when we got a tweet. Our first announcement that Crimson Desert would be coming. But what is this game? A vast but divided continent, a harsh desert, cities as dangerous as they are breathtaking. In the world of Crimson Desert, gritty realism often precedes aesthetic beauty. A vast continent of divided regions inhabited by people struggling to survive in its ever-changing lands. Whether it's in the vast plains, the cold lands, or a barren desert, each region possesses its own unique beauty. As you travel the diverse cities, you'll encounter filthy alleyways, destitute hovels, and marketplace language that would make even a troll blush. Each location has its own unique character that is built in this both fantastical and grounded in gritty realism. A world like no other, with a vast range of weapons and countless customization options. What you wield and how you wield it depends on the type of warrior you want to be. You play as a mercenary, and of course getting tasks like any other MMO, but this time within the most beautifully crafted world that I think I have ever seen. Picture Red Dead Redemption 2's world, but in this medieval fantasy MMO. Then you get something close to Crimson Desert. Just a few days later after its first announcement, we got our trailer, showing off some of this beautiful landscape, whether it's trudging through the snowy mountains with beautiful deformation physics, going over the lands, or going into villages as well. There are people that you can interact with, and dragons that you can die to. With a vast amount of unique characters with their own stories to tell, this will not just be about you, whether it's plundering carts or going on fetch quests, as most MMOs tend to end up with. But it's the combat that I'm most interested in.
우리가 그간 해보지 않았던 일들에 대해서 중요하게 생각을 하고 있어요. 멀리 보이고 산들이나 이 눈 덮인 산 이렇게 정확하게 나오는데 신경을 많이 썼습니다. 해 뜰 때나 해 진력이나 이제 볼륨메트릭하게 구름이 잘 나오는데 저희가 신경을 많이 쓰고 빛 같은 거 계산이 이렇게 정확하게 되고 멀리 보이는 풀들까지 신경 썼고 풀들 렌더링 하는데 좀 고생들을 많이 했는데 마지막에
In this commentary, we got to see some of the awesome combat, being able to knock weapons out of each other's hands and then pick up something else, or whether you want to parry, slice, dodge to get around your enemy, or just do some plain WWE style takedowns, get them to the floor and stab them in the soft part of their neck. What more could you want? And that wasn't just conjecture from me, by the way. I'm not joking when I say the developers intentionally put real-life wrestling moves within the game. Because look, you might be this mercenary called Macduff, but actually in a past life, he fought Brock Lesnar in the Octagon just before he took him to WrestleMania. And that is what they wanted to recreate. I can't lie. As a fan of historically accurate stuff and things like Kingdom Come Deliverance that have very beautiful flowing and fairly realistic and accurate combat within their swords and weaponry, I also like some mental stuff in the time being. And seeing someone suplex a bandit is something that I never knew I wanted. But now I don't want anything else. Enemies enough, you can use them as human shields and let them be hit by enemy arrows, but really it's the variation between attacking quests, loot finding quests, puzzles that you have to solve, taking you through each of the different varied terrains, from plains to mountains to villages to cities, even within caves, finding loot and being attacked in ambushes on the road. Well, you and your merry band of bandits, surely you can deal with that. But the reason I'm making this video is because of that official gameplay trailer that was released in Gamescom earlier this August. And boy, does it show us a bit more of an overall varied look at the title, because everything we've seen before was very much a work in progress. The last main bit of gameplay was over 2 years ago. Now we can see how much it has improved. From the fighting and slashing, very much hacking slash combat with different weapons, integrated with different spells as well. Of course, those suplexes and WrestleMania moves are coming back, but we get to see a little bit of horseback archery as well. A bit of destructible terrain as you can take down guard towers, walls, and buildings as you cause rampage throughout the lands, or you can look and observe some of the beautiful scenery. And actually seeing it gameplay-wise is way more impressive than we saw in any of the CGI-based trailers. A lot of this is gameplay, by the way, and it's nice and refreshing to see. Someone promoting their game with, well, the actual game. From varied of missions, whether it's collecting sheep, goats, traveling the lands, or obstructing carts from getting where they want to be, doing a little bit of Grand Theft Horse, and of course, the variation in different arms and armor that you can use. Trading is going to be a big part of the game, whether that's how you make your money, and there will be different varied tasks you can do, from fishing to ambushing, hunting, to fighting big crabs, because who didn't want to see fighting crabs? Oh, and you can pet dogs, and you can carry cats. Because I think they knew when they were creating this game... Hold on a second. Sorry. Can we just... Sorry, there's just a clip in this trailer that I think a lot of people might have missed. This guy is blowing what I can assume is a flute. And he's being followed by rats. You can play the Pied Piper if that's what you want to do. But the variation of these missions is something that I've not seen anywhere else. And it seems like the game is really leaning into fantasy here. Do not expect any sort of realistic medieval fighting, combat, or world. And I think that's absolutely fine, as long as you actually lean into and pick a side here. I mean, you can do Assassin's Creed style parkour if you want to, or you can do front flips onto horses. They are really not taking themselves seriously here, and I am all here for it. Whether it's going into portals to find different realms and different lands, that is something you can do within the story missions. And there's very little that we've heard in terms of how that's going to affect the story itself, but it is going to be a factor. Magic is also going to definitely be a presence, whether it's fighting beasts, mythological creatures, going into these different realms, or I'm assuming using some sort of magic to pole vault over a wall, because I don't think a guy in full armor could realistically do that. All in all, Crimson Desert seems like it's going to be absolutely insane. I am so glad that we've actually finally got some more gameplay that seems to be a little bit more refined. The combat looks flowing, it looks fresh, and it looks like they're trying something different with a mix of melee, ranged, and of course magic spells. Boss battles that can rival even the best of Dark Souls, not just in terms of what seems to be based in the mechanics, but visually. The scenery that you're going to be fighting within, and the design of each of these bosses and mythical creatures seems so unique, and on a level that seems refined, that is so refreshing for MMOs these days. Because something this big budget hasn't come out since New World, and we all know what happened with that. So boy, I hope Crimson Desert live up to what people are expecting.